Alrighty.
You're wagging.
The 6Three podcast.
Frozen.
Home to the most in-depth analysis on all things sports, entertainment, and basically anything else you can
Frozen, Joel.
where we have some of the hottest takes. Some of the craziest takes. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. Some of the dumbest takes. I have an IQ of 48. And where we believe that opinions are like, you gotta say that. And now, to your hosts, Joel and RJ.
And Isaiah. Thanks for tuning into the 6-3 podcast. I'm your host, Joel, alongside with RJ and Isaiah. This week, because there's not a whole lot going on in sports, we're just going to make really cool lists. So last week we did our all-around first-round mock draft or analysis of the draft, and this week we're going to do top 32 quarterbacks in the NFL for each of the franchises.
Starting.
That means RJ, because he won some closest number thing with Isaiah, gets to go first. Isaiah had selected to go third, and I said I'd take whatever's left over, which was second. I think that's how that works. So,
See how it works, yeah.
yeah, so without further ado, RJ, kick it off with who's the best quarterback in the NFL.
I get to kick it off. All right, perfect. Now, of course, I want to go Tom Brady. No, I'm not going to go Tom Brady this early.
Not anymore. It's not 2010 anymore.
No, not yet. He could have a good year this year, but no, I'm not going to go number one. Number one, I think there's only one guy legitimately at number one. If you don't think it's right, then, well, you're an idiot because the guy's amazing. He's still young and just won a Super Bowl. He's unstoppable.
This is killing me.
He's already a Hall of Famer, Patrick Mahomes.
Hey.
All right.
That's a good start. I think we're unanimous on that, right? Did you have that in yours? I had that in mine. So
Yeah, I had that in mind.
Okay. Whew, I didn't mess it up.
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is.
This one I kind of went back and forth on with who was on 2 and 3 on my list, but I still think he is super clutch. He gives the NFC North hassles every single year, and he's about to be replaced possibly based on what we saw in the draft, but I still think he's the second most talented quarterback currently in the NFL. I am going with Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers.
All right. I did not. I had him a little bit lower.
Same here.
Yeah. But
Your own team doesn't want you. I mean, can't be number two on my list.
well, number 3, I went back with number 2 and number 3 a little bit without Aaron Rodgers being a part of that conversation. 2 young guys, 2 mobile quarterbacks, 2 guys that I hope will be some of the first mobile quarterbacks with longevity. But if I had to pick between the 2, I would say going into this year, I'm going to pick Deshaun Watson.
Ooh. I had him at 4. That's okay.
Yeah. The other guy I was talking about was Jackson, but I just liked Watson's stats a little more.
Carry on, RJ. Who's 4th now?
Well, I think 4th is, in my opinion, I'm going on based off what we're doing this season and, what I saw last season, and the most entertaining, exciting player to watch in all the NFL. It's going to be my number 4, and it is Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting back on track here then, because that means I'm just going to fill in my top 5 because the top 4 out of the top 5 that I had are now gone. So I'm just going to fill in who I had at number 3, and it's Russell Wilson for the Seattle Seahawks.
That was my 3 also.
That was my 4.
Good.
Yeah. No, I think me and Joel said before the show, I think we'd have the same top 5, but just in different spots. So it sounds like we all had that pretty much.
What's neat?
My number 6, I just can't not bet against him. Even though he gets a little bit older every year, as we all do. But someone with 270 yards per game last season, 27 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and 74% completion. Drew Brees.
Hey, that's who I had at 6, though.
Yeah.
All right.
He like every year, he's kind of the Tom Brady. When's he going to fall off the cliff? He never does.
Wait, you had Brady at 6? I had Brady not Brady, I had Breeze at 6 also.
Oh, nice. We were all the same on that one.
We're all the same. Good.
All right. Well, my number 7 then is going to be he's the greatest of all time.
Oh,
All right.
And with all the weapons around him, I think this year is going to be a big year for him. So it's not going to be like last couple of years where he wasn't drafted high in fantasy. I think he's going to have a monster year this year.
Nice.
Tom Brady, the GOAT. Number 7.
situation with Drew Brees is you're like, one of these years, the decline bug is just going to hit him. Like a ton
It's not
of
human,
points.
so I'm not worried about it.
And now he's in a more explosive offense even. Bruce Arians is more, I don't care what the result is. I'm going to go crazy on offense every single time, where Bill Belichick is more focused on both sides of the field, which makes him obviously elite. So Brady could see a lot of success in a very explosive offense. So I don't put that again. I had him at 8. So
I had him at 7.
okay. Well, my number 7 is going to be Matt Ryan for the Atlanta Falcons.
You mean number 8?
You're number 8.
Well, I guess technically that's my number 7 is the number 8. So we'll just run with that.
Okay.
Wow, I'm surprised you put Matt Ryan above Stafford there.
No, I mean,
Usually a homer.
no, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe Stafford makes his way around to me again.
Well, I don't think he will, because my number and now number 9 will be Matthew Stafford.
Number 9 is number 9. Look at that.
There you go.
I have him at 9 on my list
Not
too.
bad.
That's good.
I had him at 10, so pretty
I
easy.
had him at 8, but I
Such
had
a
him
hater,
just
RJ.
over Matt Ryan.
You're such a hater for Matt Stafford. You put him one below me, you ding-along.
Hey, he's coming off back-to-back back injuries. I can't have him too high. I thought I was still doing pretty high for his injury concern.
No, I probably would have had him at 6 if he was healthy all last year. I think I would have, because he was killing it last.
If he continued to play like that, of course. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Right.
Yeah.
we've never seen him play like that level the entire season.
I know, but he played that well against what was supposed to be the hardest part of the schedule last year.
In his limited amount of time last year, he had 312 yards per game, which would have led the league. And that's
He
ridiculous.
looked really good. He was in MVP conversations before he went down in week 8. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of another injury-prone quarterback, my next guy on the list, I showed flashes of being great, but has had a lot of injury concerns. Young, still career. So I'm going Carson Wentz, the Eagles.
Oh,
Okay.
I had him at 12. Neat.
I had him at a bit lower.
Oh, wow.
Hatred.
Is that the
wow.
biggest
I just-
difference on all of ours?
You are only as good as your receivers let you be.
Yeah, they drop a lot of balls.
So
No,
I think Carson Wentz, I like where you guys have him. It's just I don't think his year is going to be that great next year because I don't see their receiving core taking a massive step. But sure.
All right. Well, that'll put me at number 11. And the guy I have at 10 is Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys.
I like it. All right. All right. I am number 12. I am gonna go with a guy who this could be great, or this could just be totally off base, depending on how he comes back from injury, and that's Ben Roethlisberger.
I like my thing in there.
I had him at 15.
His last full season threw for 320 yards per game, 34 touchdowns.
The dude's got 2 rings. Got to give him, some props. I had him a little higher, actually, on my list.
I am a little afraid at how he has physically looked while he's been injured because he looks to be heavier and less.
Oh, he looks homeless. Just go with that.
Yeah.
The last picture I saw, he looked homeless. He looked like Yukon Cornelius.
He looks worse than Delonte West, who is an actual homeless professional athlete.
Without the tattoos.
Yeah, praying for you, Delonte. Get better.
All right. This guy, we did our draft show a couple years on. I was really high on him. We both actually had him ranked our number 1 quarterback coming out of the draft. We were slightly wrong. I think he's actually number 2, but, not too far off. I'm going to go Josh Allen, I like what he hasn't had the weapons around him. Starting to get weapons now with Diggs there. And Buffalo might be the best team in the NFC or the AFC East this year. So I'm going to go, Josh Allen. Bills Mafia some love.
I had him at 13, and he went 13. That makes sense. So I got to backtrack a couple spots because at 11, I had a guy who's had a pretty illustrious career. He is now finding himself in a new town in the Midwest.
Coming from the bottom of my list here.
Uh-oh.
RJ doesn't like Phillip Rivers, but I'm putting Phillip Rivers at 14. Good grief.
That's exactly where I had him.
I had him at 19.
Ooh.
It's been good in like 4 years.
Yeah. He's been an elite quarterback pretty much most of his career, so it's hard to still give him props where you got to give him props.
Yeah. Right. Well, I am at 15. I'm going to go with a guy who kind of had a bit of a redemption at the last half of last year, and I really you may think it was just a flash in the pan for a few games. I genuinely think he's going to be great this year for his team and the system that he's in. It's going to shock you, but I'm going Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh. Oh.
In the games he played, his stats were amazing.
Except for the games in the final stretch. What, he had like 70 yards passing a game?
And yeah.
You didn't need to do anything.
Tennessee runs in the running game all day long. Okay, I had Tannehill at 20.
Where did you have him ranked, Joel?
I had him at 22.
I had him at 23.
Okay.
Well, I had Dak Prescott lower for the same thing because all he does is benefit off the running game. And
oh, yeah.
I think I don't know. I like Tannehill. 285 yards per game, 70% completion, 22 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. You got to be good if you have those numbers.
Yeah.
This is part of a winning quarterback. You want a winning quarterback, so that's you got that going for him. I think I might have put him a little low, but I probably would have had him max at 18, but it's not bad.
This is part of my this guy I have next on the list. I can go one of two ways. Either he's going to continue to get better, or he's going to be like Jared Goff, and he was kind of outed in the Super Bowl. So we'll see how he does, but I'm going to go with Jimmy G here.
All right.
I had Jimmy G at 19, so it's not terribly off. Like I said, if you're within 3 or so, it's not too bad.
In the mid-teens.
There's a couple guys that can go anywhere in the next 4 spots here. I think all these next 4 guys are pretty close, but guy I have at 14 is still not off the board. So I'm at 17, I'm going to put Baker Mayfield from Cleveland. He needs to bounce back after a struggling year, but he looked very surprisingly good as a rookie, and he basically took over immediate leadership of a team that's down in the dumps and needs a lot of redemption. So he needs also another redemption year to come back from a year.
Yeah. All right. We are at, remind me, 18?
Yep.
Okay. I think 18 is a great spot for a guy who's just can be solid, a little up and down in the past couple of years in the new place. A man who is a native to our land in West Michigan, Kirk Cousins.
I had him at 17, so not bad at all.
I had him at 18, so dead on the money.
Nice.
All right. My next guy is, I'm going in the tradition we've seen the last few years. In Patrick Mahomes' second year as a starter, he blew up. Lamar Jackson, second year as a starter, blew up. This year, it's Kyler Murray. I have him next on my list right here.
All right.
I had him at 19.
I had him at 23. So
that's why Joel always loses in fantasy. You can't see things in the future.
All right. Settle down. I think it's the playoffs every year. I just can't really get it past that. Let's see here. So we're at 20 now, right?
You are pick 20.
All right. So a guy that obviously showed a lot of promise early on in his career, a guy that was even in the MVP conversation at one point a couple years back. You guys know who I'm talking about. It's the Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him there. I had him at 18. 18.
I have at 21, so
All right.
right range.
All right. Let me make sure I don't have anyone I'm forgetting about. Okay, so we are at 22, 21.
Yep.
21, I don't know. I feel like the early 20s are kind of jumbled mess of young guys who still have some promise left or some people who were good and now we're not showing up that great. So I'm going to go with an older guy who had a great year, couple great years. And he could, when he is put to the challenge, if he's healthy, as he was not last year, do very well. And I'm going to say Nick Foles.
So we're making him the starter instead of Trubisky.
I did in my head.
I did not put him on my list.
I did not put him on my list.
Okay. Well,
all right.
I just went with who I thought is better in that locker room and who will win the starting job. So,
All right, does that mean we're going to sub out Mitch Trubisky? RJ?
Probably should. We don't want two Bears on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Where'd you have Trubisky?
I had him at 27.
I had him at 30. So there you go. Now you know.
I would have had him at 31.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, my turn.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go again. I like your thinking on, like, it's either going to be young guys or guys that have struggled. I'm going to do a little bit of both. Guys showed a lot of promise, struggled the last year in the game. But I still have faith he could,
I think you're picking who I'm picking.
I think he's going to continue to get better. Great offensive mind as a coach. I'm going to go Jared Goff.
Bingo. Yep. That's who I had.
I had him at 23.
I had him at 18, so he slipped a little bit. But all right. Well, the next available guy I have on my list is a guy that we have seen nothing of at the NFL level. He was the first overall draft pick this year. And I think he's just going to continue to carry on what he dominated in a very high-level college competition. I don't think he's not going to be a dominant NFL because it's still another jump up in a level. But
he's got weapons.
He's got weapons, and I think he's just going to be a serviceable quarterback his entire career. Whether he hits that elite mark ever, I think he's always going to be a serviceable quarterback. So I'll put him here at 23.
I love that you never even said his name.
Joe
For the
Burrow.
people that aren't very smart. There you go. We got it, but people watching might not get it. Like, who was taking number one? I don't remember.
Who played for LSU and broke all the records?
Cam Newton. Okay, we're up to me again.
We are.
Shoot. All right. Let's see. They're all gone, so I'm up to this guy. All right. Well, I'm going with a guy who's been around a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked his game, but he's never – yeah, he was moved on from other people or behind people that were better than him, but I always thought once he got a starting job again, he'd be pretty good. And I'm going to go with Teddy Bridgewater.
All right. Good pick. That's who I had.
Yeah. I really – like his last year in Minnesota, I really thought he was good.
No joke. I had him at 24 on my list. You put him right at 24.
I actually had him higher.
I actually had him higher at 21.
Okay. Slipped a bit.
All right. So my next guy, some say – is the most talented quarterback to come out since Uncle Rico.
Oh.
Also has an equally amazing facial hair.
Hey.
Yep.
I'm going to go Gardner Minshew.
All right. He had a very up and down season.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't sound so bad now that we're getting in this like 25 and later range, but I admit I admit 29.
You had what?
I had him at 29.
I got a lot of rookies up there, huh? I couldn't put too many rookies ahead of people.
Not a bunch of rookies. But 26 here, I have this guy at 21 on my list. Sam Darnold, New York Jets.
Okay.
His first NFL pass was a pick six by Quandre Diggs for a touchdown, but I think when he fights his mononucleosis and his whatever, he's fine.
Yeah,
You gotta stop making out with all those ladies.
Yeah, stop being such a player.
Yeah. I actually had him at 27.
Okay, well, he went 26, so it's not bad.
Reach.
All right, well, I had you guys at 25 and 26 who are still there. They both started, I believe, part of the year last year, if I'm remembering correctly. Both are just not on great teams. Both don't have a lot around them. But if I had to pick one of them to go into next year with, I would go with Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes.
Well, I have at 25. Good pick.
Yeah. I had him at 26.
And I had him at 24. Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes.
Well, speaking of 26, I'll go with my 26th ranked guy here. Going another
26th ranked guy?
What?
Maybe it's my 26th ranked guy.
Maybe it's mine.
Could be. He's another fellow rookie.
It is.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I am going. Is it the right rookie, though?
Oh.
I'm going Tua.
All right. Tua Tagovailoa. That's who I am.
Yeah, okay.
I think I only have him this low because of the injury and, of course, his rookie from play. I think he's very talented. I think in the next couple of years he could be a top 15 player.
Do you think he's going to be? Is he going to be better than Burrow?
No, because injury concern.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, I think he could be. I think he probably is, but the dude has way too many injuries. So
Yeah.
I like Burrow long run just because of that.
Yeah. I think Burrow translates a little bit better to the NFL, at least for immediate success. He was one of those guys who could have success but might not right away, kind of like Kyler Murray.
29. I don't know. I like what I saw in very limited action at last year. But Drew Lock from the Denver Broncos, I am putting here at 29.
Are we at 29?
Yeah, we're at 30 now.
Okay, we're at 30. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I lost my place. So
I had Lock at 28, by the way.
Okay.
I had Locke at 26 behind Daniel Jones.
I have Lock at 28 too, RJ. I picked him at 29 because he was sitting there. Good list, RJ. Good list. Strong list.
Okay. So we have, let me see if I got everyone left. We have 20, 30, 31, 32.
My bottom three guys are left. This is neat.
Yeah. All right. So we have Stidham, Herbert, and Haskins.
Yep.
Out of those three, if I wanted to bet on one of them for this coming season, I don't know if he'll be forever the best of these three, but just because of the system that he's in and the head coach he has, I have to go with Jarrett Stidham because he's at the Patriots with Bill Belichick.
My man, 30 for 30.
Yeah. You can doubt him all you want, but he's going to find a way to be successful in some way.
It's a good pick, right where I had him.
I get 31.
Pick.
Means I get to tell you who the worst quarterback is also.
And
which is enjoyment for me as a Michigan fan. So my 31st pick is going to be another rookie.
Hey.
Justin Herbert, just to screw Ohio State over and get them dead last.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so
And I think he's the worst quarterback in the league.
32nd for the Washington Redskins is going to be Kyle Allen. No, I'm just kidding. He is the backup to Dwayne Haskins, but just I didn't even want to say
Name
it.
a lot, though.
Yeah, he's a decent backup. But Dwayne Haskins, number 32, I think he's crap. I think he went to a crap school. I think just everything about him is really big crap. He's a disaster. So
His biggest highlight play of year one was throwing a pick six to Jabril Peppers.
it did work. It was
It was beautiful.
It was really nice.
things to be cherished forever.
Yeah. So, in that, before we move on, Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles? What are you guys thinking there? Obviously, I want Nick Foles, but
I think Trubisky, he's still young enough to have a pretty decent ceiling. If he has to hit his ceiling this year, though. Like, he has to get that stride. He has to move forward.
My question is, my only concern would be now that they did not take his fifth-year option. To me, that says they're done with him because they didn't even gamble. Because now if they started him and he hit a home run, it was amazing. They wouldn't have the option for one more year. They'd have to pay him a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you look at it that way, it might be Foles, but whenever there's a first-round pick and it's the same head coach, I always think they're going to keep giving him chances after chances after chances. Especially when they could have Patrick Mahomes.
They will not want to pay that contract if he ends up going off this year unless they can somehow convince Mitchell that you were not good your other 3 seasons, sir. Like, we're not going to pay you this money because of those other 3 seasons. So have another good year. We'll maybe franchise tag you this year if we want, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I guess I just have a heart for the Chicago fans, and I kind of want the front office there to just put them out of their misery and just go with Nick Foles because you know what you're getting with Nick Foles. And Trubisky could just be
a strong Christian man.
Maybe Trubisky takes a step this year, but I don't believe it. I think he's going the way of Manziel or Tebow, where he's just down, down, down until he's out of the league.
Here's a question for you. Now seeing what we've seen from the 3 quarterbacks out of that class, Trubisky, Mahomes, and Watson, Bears trading up to take him, is that now in consideration as one of the worst picks of all time?
I think that is one of the worst.
Not all time. He still started for the last 3 years. Yeah,
but look who they could have had. You gotta put that in the equation. They could have had Mahomes or Watson.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's got to be one of the top 5 worst picks of all time.
I think it might be the worst draft decision with the trade and the pick in the last 10 years.
Because they gave up, I think, what was it, a 3rd and a 4th rounder or something like that, just to go up 1 spot to get the guy they could have already had if they traded back.
I guess Jamarcus Russell wasn't 10 years ago, so I can.
Well, yeah.
Well, he wasn't. You're fine. You're in your 10-year window.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
He was 2007.
Yeah.
But even if they took, Jamarcus Russell is the worst.
Are we not gonna pretend that Eric Ebron over Aaron Donald and OBJ was?
Eric Ebron's different, man.
Eric Ebron wasn't traded up for and had a somewhat successful career. He didn't work out with the Lions because his hands are made of butter, but
how about the other number 2 draft pick that you talked about in trivia last week, Tony Mandarich over Deion Sanders and Barry Sanders, and
that's definitely top 5 all-time worst pick ever too. That's currently my number 1 pick. That's the worst ever. I think the Bears is I think it's the 2nd worst pick ever.
If he is a disaster again this year, it is for sure. But I'm not.
You think we have to see the year out?
Now, I'm not saying Trubisky itself as a bust. I'm saying the decision to take him in front of Mahomes is why it makes it so much worse.
They're going to draft up for it.
Jamarcus Russell is the worst bust of all time.
So
hands down.
Yeah. So the only thing that I can say is with Mahomes, most people didn't even have him going 10, and they traded up to get him. They had him falling back to like the mid-20s originally. Deshaun Watson was an option. So there were other people that were going back and forth, and should they take Deshaun Watson or should they take Mitchell Trubisky that year? I mean, from what I remember, there were a lot of people that probably still leaned towards Trubisky, so a lot of people would have been wrong. But still, to move up one more, knowing that the 49ers had no need for a quarterback, it seemed ridiculous.
Especially that was the most entertaining pick to watch, too, because all the experts, when they made the trade, thought they were going for the defensive tackle. They're like, oh, it's a lock right here. They're going D-tackle. And then they went quarterback, and they're like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I fault the Bears a lot more for not picking Watson over Trubisky. I think with Mahomes, it's a little bit of like no one really knew. And I think is incredible and like transcendental talent as Mahomes has, and as much as he's shown in these just short couple years, He took a year off sitting behind a very smart quarterback in Alex Smith in a great offensive scheme and built team under Andy Reid. If you would have thrown Mahomes day one starter year one on the Bears team, I don't think he's who he is today. I think we just assume he'll throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns on any team, but I think Watson was much more capable of being a day one impact player for the Bears than Mahomes might have been. That's why I fault them more for that.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing with legacy. If they land up on any other team, do they have the same kind of success? And I don't know. I saw the other day, if Tom fails in Tampa Bay, and if Bill fails without Tom, whose legacy takes the bigger hit? Like it's all about what you have around you still. Like, so whose legacy takes the bigger hit in that situation? I just ask you guys that.
I think I don't know whose legacy takes the bigger hit. I think Tom Brady will have the least success in the future of his career because Tom Brady's career, even if he plays to 45, is only 3 or 4 more years. Bill Belichick could coach for 20 more years if he really wanted to, and how many Super Bowls would he win in that? So I think
Belichick's going to coach till he's 90.
He could.
I guess.
I mean, he's like he won. He's going to be in the NFL longer than Tom Brady is.
Okay. Well, see, I think Tom Brady's legacy takes a bigger hit because I think we've seen what Bill Belichick has been able to do, and if he still struggles this year, I don't think he had a good year right off the bat with Drew Bledsoe starting and then Tom Brady coming in later. He kind of struggled right off the bat. But then you see with Tom Brady, we're going to find out that he is a scheme quarterback if he fails in Tampa. It's a completely different scheme. So RJ, I mean, what are you thinking?
Well, it's not. He wouldn't be a scheme quarterback. If he fails, it's because he's 43 years old this season.
We have backup excuses.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is going to be 71 this year, but who cares? He's got dementia. He's dementia. He could have dementia.
Yeah.
I'll play devil's advocate. Biggest hit would be the coach, Bill Belichick, because if Tom Brady is successful this year, which I think he's going to be, and the Patriots suck, which there's a chance they're going to, that was, hey, before Tom Brady, he never won anything, except as a defensive coordinator for the Giants. After Tom Brady, he hasn't won anything. So immediately, people are going to give Tom Brady more credit for their wins than Bill Belichick. Devil's advocate for it.
Okay, what if they both are trash?
I was going to say,
like, they're old. It's time to end it.
Yeah, I think with the legacy question, like whose legacy is more affected, if Bill Belichick goes, I don't know what worst case scenario for them is, but let's say 6 wins, 6-10. That'd be terrible for a Bill Belichick team. And let's say Tom Brady really falls off that cliff, throws for less than 3,000 yards, and is out of the league in 2 years. I think still, after that, Bill Belichick will go down as the greatest coach in NFL history, and Tom Brady will go down as the greatest player in NFL history. So I don't know if
It doesn't matter in the long run.
I don't know if their legacies will really be hurt by much. I think
not significantly at least.
as the best.
There might be that conversation if Brady sucks that Joe Montana is still better or something, but
people will say
in my head, from what I've seen, I would still put Brady as the greatest of all time, and I'd still put maybe a Bill Belichick up there with Don Shula, may he rest in peace, as one of the greatest coaches of all time. And I think if they both are trash this year, I think Bill Belichick needs to hang up the binoculars, and we need to have Brady hang up the cleats.
So you're gonna give him 1 year to move on from the greatest quarterback of all time to finding his successor in one season?
Yeah, dude.
You're not going to give him 1 year.
Bruce Arians is going to find any random dude off the street to just huck the football where they want.
Yeah, and throw 30 picks at as it goes. I think they both go down as the greatest of all time. Tom Brady's the best quarterback. Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. Doesn't matter what happens. As long as they don't murder someone in the next couple of years, that won't change.
All right.
And if Tom Brady does murder someone, he's still number one.
Just like Ray Lewis is the number one linebacker.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No. I was gonna say Brian Urlacher, but didn't want to.
We don't talk about Bears here.
Yeah, we don't discuss that. You saw how hot that guy on Madden.
I was gonna say, how about Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner,
Yeah, you had
Jack Thomas. There's some good ones. Derek Brooks. All right. Well, we can transition now to, do you guys want to go into trivia and then from trivia bounce to the final discussion, or do we want to do the final discussion and then trivia at the end?
I don't know. I'm really hankering to give you guys this trivia.
Hankering.
Yeah, I'm terrified because I know Joel probably studied all week long for this, and I have not studied at all. So it's going to be a bloodbath. Look at the smile. He definitely studied.
I did not study. I did not study.
He made flashcards and was studying questions all week long.
I did not study.
All right. Well, are you guys ready for this?
All right, we'll do that. It's a good segue into our final discussion.
Yeah. We'll cover all 4 teams in this trivia. So, yeah, how it's set up, we got –
Any red marker, RJ?
Well, I mean, he's grading, so he's going to be the red markers. Pass it up. A lot of red on mine.
1 second. I might jump behind this to grab a marker.
I don't want to get shut out here.
Going over.
There's a chance.
Alrighty. Sorry for that transition.
You should be a little sorry about that for sure.
I apologize. Okay. So we're going to start off. Yeah, there's 2 questions each for all the Detroit teams. And then there's 2 questions at the end for the Michigan Wolverines. So as you guys told me, you guys know the most about the Lions, not as much about the Pistons and the Tigers together, combined. And you know the least about the Red Wings. So the Red Wings questions are the easiest, and the Lions questions are the hardest.
Oh, I should have said the Red Wings are harder, so that way I don't feel bad.
No, they're pretty easy. Like, I could ask my sister these, and she'd get them right.
Eiserman.
Pavel Datsuk.
Okay. We're going to start with the Pistons.
All right, okay. I'll just surrender.
The NBA Finals MVP trophy was invented in 1969, and since then the Pistons have won 3 NBA championships, 89, 90, and 2004. Name their 3 Finals MVPs.
So we have to write 3 names down?
Can I ask one question? Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it a trick question? Did one person win it more than once?
How about, okay, 2, you got to get 2 out of the 3.
Okay.
And I'll give you a point.
We got to write this down, don't we?
Yes. There are 3 different people, though.
I don't know how to spell a lot, so I'm going to just do initials. Does that work for you?
That works.
All right.
I'll let you guys finish writing, and then I will. I'm not going to write a timer. I won't be
down. Chill. I don't know.
I already got my 3.
Yeah, you said 2 out of 3 counts as a good right?
2 out of 3 counts as a point. I will give you 2 out of 3 because there's 3. Okay.
All right, here goes.
Reveal your answers in 3, 2, 1. Ooh. All right. Joel got all 3. RJ, you got Thomas and Billups. It was Joe Dumars in 1990.
That's a tie. We both got it right, though.
Nope.
We have a tie.
That's the tiebreaker then. That's the tiebreaker.
If we have a tie at the end, that will be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, there you go. If there's tie at the end, but right now it's
I'll give you each a point now.
That's my worst subject, RJ. That's my worst subject, boy. Schooled you.
I got it right.
Okay, next Pistons question. In 2004, the 2003-2004 season, the Los Angeles Lakers, who won the Western Conference, and the Pistons faced in the championship, had a how many times more likely chance odds at the beginning of the year of winning the championship than the Pistons. That was terribly.
Yeah,
It was not the most well-spoken sentence, I can tell you that.
Sorry.
Are you saying like 2 times as much? You're doing like 5 to 1?
Yes.
Or what do you mean?
Multiplication. So 2 times, 5 times. I'll give you options.
Okay.
So in 2003-2004, the Lakers had a 1.5 to 1 chance of winning the NBA championship. How many more times likely were the Pistons of winning the championship? Is it 5 times less likely, 10 times less likely, 13 times less likely, or 15 times less likely? So again, A, were the Pistons 5 times less likely to win the NBA championship? B, 10 times less likely? C, 12 times? D, 15 times?
Last time you said 13. And now you're tricking me. Is it 13 or is it 12?
13, sorry.
So it's not that answer.
Well,
No, I crossed mine out a second.
This is going amazingly.
He's got
This is
C.
going incredibly. All right, in 3, 2, 1. RJ had it right. It was 10 times less likely.
I had 13 because it was a random number. And then I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that doesn't make sense. 13. But...
My bad on that one. All right. Okay, this is going to be the more difficult section, hopefully. I hope I picked difficult ones.
Oh, man.
For you guys, this is the Lions section. So,
Is this question 3?
this is question 3. So questions 3 and 4 are Lions-related questions.
Okay.
So, question 3. In 2008, a 50-year-long curse of losing put on them by this Hall of Fame quarterback was lifted. What player put that curse on the Lions?
All right, let's
You're whistling and laughing. I'm guessing you both know. Let me see.
Okay.
All right.
That was me.
Okay, bonus point.
Uh-oh.
What team was he traded to that made him say that?
Pittsburgh.
Yes, Pittsburgh.
Thanks, RJ.
So now our tiebreaker is even.
No, you didn't even give me a chance
No.
to say anything.
Oh.
No,
Dude,
I just had that written down. I wanted to ask.
That's a bonus point.
No bonus points.
But you didn't give me a chance to give me a bonus point. We could have wrote it down.
You would have got it wrong.
Okay.
Question number 4. The Lions are going on their 30th season without a playoff win this year. In 20 playoff games in franchise history, what is their record?
In 20 playoff games?
They've had 20 playoff games in their franchise history.
Is this Super Bowl era?
What?
Is this Super Bowl era or what?
No, this was what I could find in the team.
That's going to be impossible. We weren't even alive.
You weren't even alive when the Super Bowl era started.
Yeah, but I know all the Super Bowls.
So they had 20 games in the Super
At
Bowl.
20 playoff
20
games.
playoff.
I'll give you guys the multiple choice. Okay. I hope you guys would be able to guess between a couple of these. But, okay. Is it A, 3 and 17? Is it B, 5 and 15? Is it C, 7 and 13? Or is it D, 10 and 10?
So this counts the 1950s.
Yeah, when they won all the championships.
Yes, but there were only, I think, 2 playoff games to get to the championship then?
All right.
Hang on.
You need me to say the numbers again, or?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
A.
RJ's a loser. Bonus points for me.
Okay. Then don't do it. Let's just go then.
Okay.
Run it.
Okay. And this is going off of Pro Football Reference, so I just want to say that right now.
Oh, thanks. That's what I looked up too. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Yes, it was C, 7, and 13.
Bonus points because I wrote it down.
Oh, yeah.
RJ's
But when
giving
you got all
lazy
four.
answers like B. Lane and I. Thomas and C. Billups.
Yeah, well, I got all 4 right, though, so.
All right. Well, we are moving into the Red Wings section.
Oh,
So these are going to be some, to me, they're softballs, but to you guys, they may be kind of difficult. So we'll see. I don't know. I didn't know how much to go off of with your Red Wings knowledge. So
Just
this first one could
full level.
yeah, this first one could be very easy.
how do you spell Red Wings? Is it 1 or 2 words?
What does their logo look like, kind of?
All right. So question number 5. The NHL began in 1926. Since then, how many Stanley Cups have the Red Wings won?
Is this multiple choice or no?
It shouldn't.
Don't spoil us.
It shouldn't be.
I got it wrong, but whatever.
I think I had it wrong, too.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Whew. Joel was pretty close. It's 11.
Oh,
Okay. Now there are two questions tied to this one. I just wanted to throw out there to see your guys' knowledge. Which NHL team has the most championships?
Montreal Canadiens.
Montreal Canadiens. Which team is tied with the Red Wings at 11?
Gosh.
Since 1926, because their fans would get mad that I didn't count the 2 before that.
I know. I want to say Boston or
Toronto?
Toronto. Yep.
Is it Toronto? So both Canadian teams, right?
Yes. They say they have 13, but they were before 1926, so I don't.
Air high five.
Okay. Last Red Wings question, number 6. In Joe Louis Arena, there were 3 entrances, and each entrance had a statue in front of it of a player from the Red Wings. They are now in the new arena. They were moved there when they built it. Name 2, because I know you guys can name 1. Name 2 of these players. I will give you a hint. You want a hint? I should give you a hint.
Nope.
All right. Okay. All right.
Unless that hints for the not one I know. Hold on.
There's one everyone should know. That's why I say I want you guys to pick 2.
Can I write in the guy who died recently?
No,
I don't remember his name.
That's too bad.
You got to know his name.
I can't remember his name. Is that one of them?
I will tell you in a couple seconds.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember his name.
You got 5 seconds, RJ. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see the answers. Stevie Y and Bobby.
I can't remember his name.
You guys all got Joel. You got at least 1, so you got Gordie Howe. The other 2 are Ted Lindsay and Alex Del Vecchio.
So we both got that one wrong, man.
Yes, my hint was going to be that I don't know about Gordie Howe, but we would not have been alive when the other guys played.
Wouldn't that be a bonus point that I got 1 and he got 0?
There's no more bonus points.
Joel, you already have the bonus point.
How? I have a bonus point too.
No, you don't, RJ. I would have
It's
said
fine.
Pittsburgh too.
Okay. But we don't live in that world, so.
All right. Okay, now we're on the Tigers with question 7.
Can we get a score tally?
Yeah.
I won.
Well, RJ has 4.
And how many does Joel have? 3?
3.
But with the bonus points. So if you get one wrong and I get one right, I got the win again.
What if you don't have the bonus points?
Why not?
If it's a tie, Joel has the bonus point.
How?
Because I got the extra credit on the first one.
And then I got the other extra credit.
By blurting it out before me, not giving me a chance to say
Okay,
something.
but what about the hockey one? You blurted out, and I gave you that one.
The final question of today's trivia will have one more opportunity for a bonus point.
There we go, because we're tied on bonus points.
Okay. All right. So, question number 7. In 2012, the Tigers lost to the Giants in the World Series. Which team did they beat in the ALCS? I have multiple choice if you'd like it.
What year was it?
No, don't do multiple choice. Don't do multiple choice.
No multiple.
2012?
7.
Who did they beat in the ALCS?
And 7?
Yeah. 2012.
Oh, gosh.
5 seconds, Joel.
Them, and then they were so rested that the Red Hot Giants just blew them out in the final.
Yeah, I don't think this is right. I think this is their 2006 run, but
I think I do it in 2006 run also.
All right. Let's see it in 3, 2, and 1. RJ got it right. It is the Yankees.
Was the A's 2006?
I think the A's is who they beat in the ALDS that year. In
I think
2012.
so. Joel, I don't like baseball. I got that right. You love baseball. You got it wrong.
You can rub it in. That's cool. I'll take it. I deserve it.
All right. This one is also a multiple answer. I know I'm throwing a couple of those out, but you should be able you can name all these guys. Whoever names the most of them gets the point, is how I'm doing this one. So, the past 3 winners of the World Series titles have had a combined 5 former Tigers pitchers in their starting rotations. Name as many of those 5 players as you can. I believe they were all on the team at the same time at one point, too. On the Tigers, that is.
I'm having a brain fart.
We don't have time for brain farts around these parts.
That rhymed. You're a poet. You just don't know it.
Hey, man. I've stumbled over my words enough in this trivia. I can make some rhymes and sound kind of cool at the end of it.
Yeah, redemption. This whole episode has been about redemption.
Redemption. Hey, it looks like Joel is done. We'll give RJ a few more seconds.
No need.
I got
All right.
5, so I don't know.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let me see. All right. Joel definitely got more. So 5 were Max Scherzer, Rick Porcello, David Price, Justin Verlander, and Anibal Sanchez.
I hit all 5. Whoop, whoop.
Here we go. All right. Joel is within 1 point. Okay, these last 2 questions are about the Michigan Wolverines. Go Blue.
I don't think I'm going to make any ground on this one with RJ.
We'll see.
They're probably hard.
I tried to pick hard ones. So the first one has multiple choice if you guys need it, but the last one does not. So when the original Michigan Stadium was built in 1927, how many people could it house?
Multiple choice.
Need multiple choice? Okay. A, 65,000. B, 72,000. C, 80,000. And D, 54,000.
So is
A, yeah. The original capacity of the big house in 1927. A, 65,000. B, 72,000. C, 80,000. And D, 54,000.
Gosh. I know it's between one or two. Gosh.
Yeah, 54 is throwing me off. It's the only one that's not like an odd number or an even, you know what I mean? Like 5 or 0. Everyone else is 5 or 0.
72 is B.
Yeah. So it's 65,000, 72,000, 80,000, or 54,000.
All right, I just guessed. Let's go with it.
All right, let's see the answers.
Kind of. If it's not this, it's D.
Neither of you got it right. It was 72,000. D. All right. If Joel gets this last one right, win. I think you have the bonus point, Joel. I think you'll win via bonus points.
No, we just said we'd have to do a new bonus.
RJ a stroke.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
Tell me, bro.
I also have multiple choice if needed for this one. So, how many members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame played for the University of Michigan?
Got multiple choice, Joe?
We just win, RJ. We just went to the Hall of Fame. We should know this.
You need multiple choice.
I'd go with it. Go multiple choice, yeah.
Okay. A, 8. B, 10. C, 12. D, 15.
So 8, 10, 12, or 15?
8, 10, 12, or 15. It is one of those numbers.
They added 2 this year, didn't they? Or no, 1 this year. Charles Woodson will be there.
Yes.
Yeah, Charles Woodson's not there yet. So 1 and 2 in my head.
One last time, there are 8, 10, 12, or 15 Michigan Wolverines in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a guess.
Okay, let me see your answers, guys.
Is it there?
Joel got it right. It is 10.
Ah,
So we have a big, fat tie on our hands.
You need to come up with another question on the fly.
I have 2 if we really need them.
All right.
Questions. So, which other school? Sorry. Michigan is tied for 3rd with 10 people. What other school in the Big Ten also has 10? There are 2 teams, college teams, with 13. There are 2 with 10. Michigan is one of those 10. Which is the other 10? It is in their conference. All right, let's see your answers. Ohio State is correct. Now, final bonus point. Can you name the 2 teams with 13? Or one of the 2? If you give it some thought, I think it's pretty obvious. But
you ready?
yeah, we're ready. RJ had them. USC and Notre Dame.
Nice.
Champion! That feels good. Feels real good. There it is.
Here's an air pat in the back.
There we go. Get this side.
You guys actually both got a bonus point and had 5 normal questions right. So,
So now we got to do this one more.
yeah, it's a tie.
Nonsense.
Okay, I had one. I did have another question if you do want it to break the tie.
Oh, your tiebreaker was 1. Mine was 2. I got both right. I nailed it.
So he also got all 5 Tigers pitchers when you only got 1.
That was only worth 1 point, but
So was the last one.
Gosh.
Joe already patted my back. It's over with.
No, it's not, dude. I don't say it's over to the fat lady sings, my man.
Fat lady already sang, man. It's over.
I didn't hear it. She must be tone deaf.
Let's go on to.
Nope. He wrote up a last question. Let's make him do it.
He didn't come up with a.
It's a Red Wings question.
All right. Yes. My favorite.
It's a Red Wings question.
Hold on. If neither of us get this right, then who wins? Me?
RJ, I'll give you the win if no one gets this right. There, we'll have
All
that.
right. There we go.
Okay, a couple years ago, I think it was 2017, the Red Wings had a consecutive playoff appearances streak going that ended. How many years long was that streak? It is more than
Don't
2.
give us any clues. No clues.
More than 2? What?
You have to be dead on.
It ended in 2017, just for clarification.
You have to be dead on, right?
Yes, you have to be dead on the number of consecutive playoff seasons.
I think I'm within 1. I'm not sure.
All right, let me see. Joel was closer, but it's 25.
Joe went over, though.
Okay. Good job.
Good round number of 25.
All right.
Congratulations, RJ, on winning what started as possibly the worst trivia in this show's history, but ended pretty good.
It got pretty intense, yeah. So next
That
week.
was I think it was the best battle ever.
It was good. That was a really strong battle for sure. Down to the wire. But next week we can get our chance for another battle. Isaiah and RJ take on each other.
All right.
I'll write up some questions. They'll all be NFL.
All right.
NFL questions. Current or all time?
They'll all be related to since we've been born. So anything since like 1994 to now.
All right.
All right.
Are you 93 or 94? Because then I know if I can go to 93.
I'm 94.
Okay. All right. I got to go 94 now.
26 on Saturday.
All right. Oh, wow. Yes, sir. I remember wishing you a happy birthday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we're going to transition because of those Detroit-related questions on a discussion/debate on which Detroit team is closest to winning championship. And then we're going to try to rank them and then obviously keep all your hits above the belt because I know it can get pretty fiery.
I like that you said winning a championship because we know none of these teams are going to win more than one championship.
I know. Everything is singular until I see otherwise.
I'm pretty sure the Red Wings have more championships by themselves than the rest of the Detroit teams put together. Am I right on that?
I mean, baseball's been around. Yeah, for sure they do, actually, yeah.
Pistons have 3.
Yep.
Tigers have like 4 or 5.
Yep.
And
the Lions
the
have
Lions.
Well, the Lions have the 50s. They have like what?
Are we still counting that though? No one counts those anymore. We count Super Bowls.
Well, with the Red Wings, it's been since 1926, so I'd say that's our cutoff.
Okay, so yeah, then we count the 50s. So yeah, no, it could be close then. How many? The Red Wings have what you said, 11?
11.
Yeah.
It's still not. I think it's still
Probably
more.
close to tied though.
Probably.
If we count the Detroit Shock, does that help? They won a few women's NBA championships.
Yeah, they won a couple.
Cash. I don't know. All right, who's kicking off this discussion? Who is number 1? Or do you want to start with number 5 or 4?
Where's 5?
Or 4.
Detroit Football Club.
No, that's the Detroit Shock.
All right. Let's start at the bottom.
All right, we're going 4. Who's 4? Who's last? Who's definitely not winning anytime soon?
Who's the worst? Who's farthest away?
Let's hear it, RJ.
I get to start it off. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see, I can go one of 2 ways with this.
You can go one of 4 ways, to be honest.
Yeah, I could. I think it's – jeez. Okay, I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers for this reason only. Well, there's multiple because Pistons are really far away, but they could get one player and it could change everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to win in basketball. And I give the Red Wings a break because they've actually won a lot. So I'm not going to give them too much hatred. So I'm going to say the Detroit Tigers are the farthest away.
That's who I had as well.
I just think it's harder to win in baseball. Baseball with that no salary cap right now, man, they can build dynasties like it's no one's business. And Detroit is working against the grain right now, working through the minor league farm system and scouting talent in baseball is impossible. Some of the best players in baseball today are like round 27 out of like 140 or something. So scouts have their work cut out for them. The GM has the work cut out for them, trying to build it financially smart. And I think just going against other teams that have superstar money, like they'll always be the best.
Yeah, I just don't I was looking at all these teams because they all aren't close to winning, but the biggest thing for me was like, do they have a plan? And the Tigers, for whatever their plan is, if it is a plan, I don't think it's a good one either way. So I was just like, I couldn't. I had them at 4-2.
Their plan is incredibly painful. They have a semi idea of a plan, but with a 162 game season where people have to try to just stomach 42 wins a year and lose 120, you're killing me, man. Like we don't have time for that as fans. You're going to lose money as a GM, and that means you're not going to want to pay people. You're going to have to win the old-fashioned way like the Oakland A's did in Moneyball. You're going to have to pay these peasants to try to just come together, gel as a team, and win. It's just not going to work in baseball right now. So
the Tigers need the most to be competitive.
Yeah, that's a good start, RJ. But right now, I think if I had to go 3, gosh, man, I think I picked the Red Wings. They're fighting everything right now too with the clock. Some of the players have gotten really old, so they're trying to start young again, and they're kind of doing the same thing the Tigers are, trying to get younger. They've always had a pretty solid Griffins team, winning Calder Cups and stuff, but getting that talent to translate at the next level, they're not getting those guys. They're kind of picking at awkward spots in the draft until recently. So I think they're not getting a real raw talent just like the NBA draft, the NHL draft. You're also only going to get these upper echelon players in like the top 5. And after that, it's a huge fall off with what you're going to really be able to see. So I'm going to put the Red Wings there. I think that momentum that they had going to 25 straight postseasons, it's gone out the window. So
yeah. Well, if we're going next, if we're doing this as a collective, I actually had the Pistons 3rd. I had the Red Wings 2nd. So I'll say the Pistons next just because, again, kind of like the Tigers, I don't see what they're doing. I think they have more pieces put together than the Tigers. I think Dwayne Casey's a great coach. He showed that in Toronto, that he can work without a megastar. But they need to trade away Blake Griffin in my mind, and they just traded away one of their younger guys in Drummond. Reggie Jackson, who they have a lot of money tied up in, isn't going to look like his old self ever again. Blake Griffin might not look like his old self ever again, and they have about $40 million tied up in him, I think. Mm-hmm. So I put them at 3rd because they need to start the rebuild. And to me, the Red Wings have started the rebuild. They still have a lot of money tied up in these older guys. Justin Applicator's contract is terrible. Some of these older guys have just terrible contracts. But the biggest thing going for the Red Wings is that they have who I would say is the best GM for rebuilding teams in the NHL, and that's Steve Yzerman. He took Tampa Bay in, I don't even know how many years there, about between 5 and 10, I think, from basically nothing to championship contenders for 3 years straight. With him at the helm, I see the Red Wings being competitive for a championship sooner than the Pistons. But again, like RJ said, the Pistons could get, free agency this year, you have Giannis Antetokounmpo or Anthony Davis. You could get one of those guys, even though who really wants to come to Detroit Pistons? But you could get one of those guys and your team could turn around and be a 4 seed and go into the Eastern Conference Championship. But that's a hard thing to rank a team on because it's such a big what if.
That was tough for me. I pick between the Pistons or the Red Wings there, but the Pistons, I think, with basketball, if they do end up landing a star and then one star is able to recruit another star over there, they'll work that cap out however they have to. And they have in today's NBA, you have to build a superstar team with at least 3 elite players. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere. So, and I think that's the problem with today's NBA, and that's why I've lost a lot of interest in the NBA because the same bottom feeders are going to be bottom feeders for good until they can get these elite superstars. So it was tough for me, and I totally forgot about Steve Yzerman now trying to fix that team. I would probably swap those two around. But
I agree. I had the Pistons at 3 because they don't seem to have a plan. The talent they do have is guys you probably want to get rid of because they're aging.
Yeah.
And their strategy is to try and make in the playoffs, and then you can't get a lottery pick, which is the only way this team's going to get any better is by getting a lucky lottery pick
Yeah, again,
Get
top 5. You have to get a top 5 guy without that drop off.
And they're trying to make that last seed every year, which is like, congratulations, you get swept in the playoffs and you get no reward for it. It doesn't make any sense. The Red Wings are trying to fix all the errors from the past with the horrible contracts. Stevie Y, he's going to build the team up. He just needs some time. So I like the Red Wings game plan better than what I'm seeing so far with Detroit.
Yeah, I'm hearing some of your guys' takes, and I'm thinking about it a little more, and I could almost put the Red Wings here. Then that means ahead of the Lions, just because their general manager he's got the better idea of direction. I think most free agents, too, still want to come to Hockey Town. It's still Hockey Town. That doesn't change. So I think it's still obviously the biggest free agent draw out of all Detroit sports is to be a Red Wing than any of the other.
I actually had the hardest time with 1 and 2 between the Lions and the Red Wings because I think the Lions will have the most success this coming season because I think they could be a fringe playoff team this coming season. But competing for a championship is a very different thing to me because I don't think Bob Quinn has a plan in mind for that. I don't think they really have anything, and I don't think Martha Ford is trickling down that necessity or that desire to the rest of the front office. Whereas even though the Ilitch family gets a little bit of flack for how they seem to just be in owning teams for the money, but they hired Steve Yzerman. They hired the hometown boy who is just going to – he has a plan involved. He was getting rid of people with ties to the city and ties to the team right when he stepped through the door. But he's still not doing everything he needs because he knows they're not going to be competitive for a couple of years. So he'd rather – kind of the Pistons problem. He'd rather get those higher lottery picks and have a bigger chance at the number 1 pick by keeping Jeff Blashill as the coach because he's not that good, and keeping some of these older guys instead of trading them away and trying to get a best player in return on those assets. He's building through the draft, and he's building through – I don't think he's tanking necessarily, but he's definitely not trying to win games with how has that team built right now. So, yeah, I think the Red Wings honestly will be competitive in 10 years. I think in less than 10 years they'll be back in the playoff hunt every year, kind of like the – I don't want to say teams that actually win championships, but kind of like the Lightning or kind of like the Predators, just a team that's always in the mix, maybe doesn't get there, but at the beginning of the season you're going to say they're top 5 and chance to win the Stanley Cup. I could see that happening in 10 years with Steve Yzerman's course.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, RJ, but I think I was thinking short term here. I think the Lions are the closest to winning a playoff game. But if we go to championship-wise and think broader scheme, because none of these teams are close to winning anything big, I think, yet for a while. But if we do think broader scheme, a team with a better sense of direction, a team with the ability to bring in better players, I think that is the Red Wings. So the Red Wings probably are number 1. But I think if we go shorter term, a team with a better chance to win a playoff game still might be the Lions.
Yeah, with the Lions, I think they could be number 1 or number 4. Talent-wise, I think they're the most talented current roster now in Detroit sports. Yeah. But if they struggle this year and fire everyone there is, they don't have a plan and they go right to the bottom of the list. So, I mean, the Lions could be anywhere in the top 4. It's all going to be dependent on pretty much one player. It's all going to be on Matthew Stafford's shoulders.
Yeah.
If he can't lead this team to playoff team, this team could change very drastically quickly.
His shoulder seems to be healthier than his back right now, so
you're right.
Yeah. Well, and that's a tough thing because, especially this year, the Red Wings are historically awful this season. The season's, I don't know if it's what the plans are for the NHL to resume or whatever, but they are 17-49 right now, and with 5 overtime losses. So they have those points. That is, I can't do the research right now, but I want to say one of the worst teams in the 82-game schedule era ever, because they're terrible. That means they have 37 points. They would end the season with less than 50. I'm pretty sure that's the worst season ever, but they have a huge plan in mind. They have, the city of Detroit is still bought in. People still go see games, kind of. I went to a game, they lost 8-1, so I wouldn't recommend it. But there's hope because we see Steve Yzerman, and I don't want to make, this huge complex out of Steve Yzerman, but you see the plan unfolding that he's pushing out. And Bob Quinn doesn't seem to have a plan other than let's try to make the playoffs this season. Pistons don't have a different plan then. Let's try to maximize the people we have on the team right now and try to get as much out of Blake Griffin, making $40 million a year, which is ridiculous. And the Tigers are just kind of like, well, let's hope some of these guys who are 1 million chance that we have to hit a few of them, which makes it a 1 in a lot of million chance. So I think, longevity-wise, the Red Wings kind of seem like the best ones going forward. But I think the Lions, like you're saying, Joel, are going to win a playoff game next, if I had to guess. But, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I think I hope for the best, obviously, with the Lions roster. Everything looks good on paper again, but we've seen that all before. And I think there's a lot of things riding on this season. Obviously, Matt Stafford staying healthy, Jared Davis being the leader on defense now that he needs to play for a new contract, possibly extending his fifth-year option, and Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia managing and coaching for their job. So I think and they're playing a last-place schedule. So I think these variables make me want to drink that Kool-Aid a little more than usual, but I got to stop trying to hop on it too hard. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I guess we covered quite a bit. It was a pretty lengthy show. Appreciate anyone that's still listening and paying attention, but we will be back again trying to come up with a new outline for next week. And appreciate you guys stopping on today.
Yeah, I'm glad we ended on a high note.
Very high note. Very depressing high note.
Yes. There's hope. Detroit.
Makes you feel better. Yours truly won the trivia this week. Can't get much higher than that.
Yeah, okay.
I know Joe's going to throw curveballs for us next week, so that should be interesting for sure.
It's all football. Guys, study up.
No studying.
All right, guys. Well, we'll talk to you next week then. See ya.
Yeah.
See ya.